according to you, like, what's stopping me from saying my necessity to live is to experience the world, and eating meat is a part of it?
Ooh, I like that experience you added in there. That's good. Um, um, well, so what I would say is that because things can suffer, we don't want them to suffer, and that's
Mm-mm.
basically it. I would say that it's
Your existence causes suffering.
well, oh, for sure, for sure. And there's different levels of suffering. So what I would
Okay.
say is that we would figure out the best ways to not have suffering. For example, would you agree that we shouldn't punch a dog in the face? Like just for
Damn,
fun.
like that's the only context.
Yeah. No, for example, like you're walking down the street, you see a dog standing there. It's not attacking you or anything, and then let's call it cute for fun. Let's say it's cute. Picture like golden retriever, just the cutest one you can. It's really hard for me to give hypotheticals with dogs because I don't like dogs. Anyways, and you just want to punch
Okay.
it in the face because you want to see it suffer. Let's say it brings you joy.
Okay.
Um, do you think that that even though maybe we should eat animals because humans have to eat to survive or whatever, do you think that it would be reasonable for a society, and let's say you're the emperor of the society, would it be reasonable to say you can't punch it just for fun?
I would say, wouldn't that hypothetical scenario be more interesting for you to answer, because your
Yeah, I don't.
position is
Yeah, I don't think you should punch it just for fun legally.
okay. Then how do you justify the suffering you're causing with your life's existence?
The only suffering that I can imagine would not involve just for fun. So like when I eat a
Okay, so
carrot and that
we're not
that
okay.
well hold on, if I eat a carrot and that
Mm-hmm.
that caused suffering and death to mice,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at least eating that carrot. Now I'm not trying to justify that, but I am claiming that it is different, very different than even though
No doubt
mine
about it.
causes a death, it's very different than the punching just for fun.
But that's not the point, right? The point is to reduce suffering as much as possible
Exactly.
as a
So
vegan.
if we make animals die for our eating,
Mm-hmm.
and we also make animals suffer for the fun of punching them, then reducing could be, oh, we're still going to eat them or eat things that cause their deaths or whatever, but we're not going to punch them.
Okay, so okay, so you as a vegan, you're okay with us eating meat as long as we're not punching the animal.
Well, I'm not saying that exactly. We can pinpoint details. You would have to tell me which element of the eating meat you think is reasonable, and then we'd break it down. I just want to figure out if you think to let's swap it over to something else. Let's say fur. So let's say we're fine with eating meat. We're fine with killing animals to get our
Mm-hmm.
vegetables. But now, because we don't have to rely on fur to stay warm, we invent this fake fur or other materials. Now, let's ignore any possible ideas of there being bad chemicals in this fake stuff. Let's just say if we can create things to keep us warm and clothed without using fur, do you think it would be reasonable, if not now, at some point in the near future, um, to say, let's not use fur anymore, at least from the animals that we don't eat? Now, you could say, let's keep doing leather because we're going to eat the cows, so might as well use their skin for leather. Sure. But just for my question to you, similar to punching a dog in the face, if we take a minx or I can't think of the other one. There's a handful. There's like five different animals that we kill just for their fur. Would you say it's reasonable to say we aren't going to allow the killing for the fur?
So if I understand correctly, the consequence of actually farming for fur inherently necessitates that the culling of animals is there. And so you're asking me, would I be okay with culling animals for fur?
Correct. If that's all it was for was the fur.
See, I'm confused because the hypothetical question doesn't achieve anything if I answer it. Because the thing is, you as a vegan,
Hmm.
you do you agree with that? Because
Well, let's
all
find
you
out
need
if
to
it.
do is you need to justify.
Let's find
You
out
need to
if.
justify your existence.
Okay, well, and that's fine, and we can go there, but let's find out if it achieves anything. You might be right, but let's just find out, like honestly, I want you to be honest with me. Do you
Okay,
feel like with our
go ahead.
advancements with blankets, and we have blankets, we have clothes of all kinds. If for now 100 years from now, let's say magically we don't have the materials to make blankets and clothes, then sure we can go back to fur. But I'm just talking about while we have the ability to do these things, and let's just say in this country, are you in the U.S.?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's just say in this country we have this ability. Would you say that it would be reasonable to not kill the animals, breed and kill the animals, and make them suffer just for their fur?
Okay, so I'd say um personally, so this is getting into like my personal foundations about
Hmm.
philosophies and morals. So I would say in that context, just for fur, I don't know.
You don't know?
but, but the thing is that like you're just basically this just gets into like a whole entire talking point about like okay, so your position about moral philosophy is this and that to me. But that's the problem is that like it doesn't get anywhere other than trying to rail against what I believe. The thing is that what I established is that your position as a vegan,
Yeah,
you had to justify that
yeah. No, and
because
I
me
like
what
that. Okay, go for it.
okay well yeah because what I see is that you currently are causing you acknowledge that your existence causes suffering, and I'm simply trying to get you to justify that because
Hmm.
as a vegan you had to follow the vegan uh, philosophy
Well, I don't
to
have
the
to.
to its end extent.
I don't have to do
If you
anything.
don't,
We we
what do you mean?
not all vegans are the same, and they don't have the same ideas. But hold on one sec, because I do like the idea of taking the challenges you have, and I feel like I have so far. I feel like we've mostly been talking about the challenges to me, which is fine. I actually kind of prefer that. But I do want to go over this element. So similar to, okay, so do you agree in our society that humans should not be allowed to kill other humans? Like that's a good protection the government can give us?
Humans should not
Be
be
able to
murdering
kill
other
other humans.
humans.
Yeah.
I agree. Humans should not be allowed to murder other humans.
Yeah, like we should have it
Okay.
be within law that you go to jail or whatever. Okay, and then you
Okay.
probably agree that humans should not be allowed to punch other humans in the face unless it's self-defense?
Sure. Where are you
Yeah.
going with this?
Well, I'm just saying, like, so in a society, we can have very different laws. We can have all kinds of different laws for what can happen. So I guess what I'm trying to point out is that I think it's reasonable to create laws affecting the suffering of animals. So I'm not trying to get you to say that we should have a law saying you can't eat animals. I'm not even trying to get you to say we should have a law that you can't use the skin of cows to make fur or to make leather. I'm just saying that do you think based on our advancements that we should be able to have a law that says you can't use animals just for fur? Do you think that level of suffering is similar to the dog punch in the face? I think in our society, if you punch a dog in the face randomly, you should get a fine of sorts, which I believe you do. I think in the US, if you punch a dog in the face or kick a dog, beat a dog, torture a dog, you will get a
Mhm.
fine. And I don't think it's because we like dogs more than cows or whatever. I think it's because it is causing unnecessary harm to it. And I'm just wondering if you
Mhm.
agree that we should have the laws to not punch and kick dogs and cats, and if we should have the laws to not use fur while we currently don't need to. This is not a got you.
Me,
I'm
no,
just
no, no.
curious. So once you answer it, I'll go, okay, cool. I was just curious, and then you ask your next question. I am not trying to get you in a corner of any kind.
No, cars. The thing is that like I really don't see the point of it.
Then answer the question. You will.
Okay,
You're
okay,
not going to see
so
the point because there is no point. I'm curious what your
okay,
stance
then
is.
see, look, that's I don't want to accuse you of sophistry, but I'm saying like why go down this road? Because like we
Because
can
we're
just go back to the
discussing
original point.
we're discussing veganisms. So from as I told you at the very beginning, my idea of veganism is to cause as little bit of suffering as possible. So let's say you're able to convince me that it is best for you to experience eating animals to have the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
fulfilled
that.
life.
Okay.
Then I would say, I potentially could say something like, I think it's reasonable for you to eat this meat and experience this stuff, but I don't think it's reasonable for you to punch a dog in the face or to use an animal for fur when we don't need the fur, where you might give me good reason that you need the meat. So I'm just seeing, I'm not seeing if you can meet me halfway or anything. I'm not trying to do a gotcha either. I'm just trying to see your personal level, sort of your personal levels of morals, but also what you think might be such an extreme level of morals that you would put it on other people. Now, you might not put it on other people to stop fur from being used, but you might put it on other people to not punch dogs in the face. And let's not even say dogs in case you think that I'm trying to do why do we treat dogs better than cows? Do you think somebody should be able to punch a cow in the face? Do you think somebody that is not going to eat the cow or use the cow in any way just to get their aggression out should be able to take a baseball bat to a cow and hit it as hard as they want a couple times? Or should that be viewed as illegal because that is unnecessary suffering, where even though we're going to kill and eat the cow, that is legal? Would you say that we can add these elements to the law? We don't hit cows with bats, we don't kick dogs in the face, and we don't use fur of animals that we're going to waste the body of.
For me, life's existence is necessary because when life is good, life's existence is necessary, and one of that experience is punching a cow in the face.